Traditionally, you may have relied on journal name or brand as a marker that a piece of research could be trusted. However, this isn't a very reliable marker as business models and journal policies can change. In the past decade, the rise of article processing charges and the gold open access business model have created perverse incentives for journals to publish as many articles as possible, often sacrificing editorial quality to achieve this. Journals have also been found to ignore their own policies in order to publish high-profile research. In 2024, Nature went against its own peer review policies to publish the latest AlphaFold study, chasing headlines rather than quality research. Smaller community-run journals may still hold high standards, and within fields may be useful indicators of how trustworthy an article is. But without greater transparency, only field specialists will know which journal brands are particularly high quality. Related to journal brand is the impact factor, one of the most common terms associated with journal names in Google searches. The impact factor measures how many times articles included in a journal are cited within the academic literature in a 2-year period. This is frequently used to measure the impact of a journal and therefore the quality of the science published within the journal. However, the impact factor can be inflated by journals through the inclusion of non-research articles. It is also negotiated by journals. The impact factor can often significantly be inflated by a small number of papers, with one example of a single paper increasing a journal's impact factor from 2 to 49. The impact factor doesn't make any distinction between good, reliable research and retracted or poor quality research, with all of those counting equally towards the impact factor, although from 2025 retracted articles will no longer be included. In short, the impact factor provides no information on the quality or trustworthiness of individual papers. You may also have relied on the presence of peer review. However, peer review is not a reliable indicator of trust on its own. Peer review is not designed to detect fraud, AI-generated papers, or even gross defects. Peer reviewers consistently do not agree with each other more than would happen by chance. The peer review process itself can be subjected to fraud and peer review cartels. This is in addition to the biases that are inherent in peer review. Peer review has no common standards. One journal may differ in expectations to another, just as one reviewer may undertake a much more in-depth evaluation than another. One peer review is a very recent experiment, only becoming common practice in the 1970s, also a period for one of the best albums of all time. Despite this, peer review can and does help authors improve their manuscript, and it can reduce hyperbolic language and overinterpretation. But this is very different from quality control or assessing trust. In fact, you should read peer-reviewed papers as critically as you would read a preprint.